that look like the mayor to you?
Good evening. This is the agenda meeting called to order by Council President Benjavanga. In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-6, with adequate notice of this meeting being provided to the borough's two official newspapers and published on the borough's website. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Yes, Councilman Dean.
Here.
And Councilwoman Faustini, Councilman Besh are away on vacation. Mayor and Nesh have another obligation this evening. Councilman White,
Here.
Councilman Bullock,
Here.
and Council President Benjavanga.
Here. Take us through the agenda items, please.
Yes, Council President, this evening we have one matter on for executive session. It is contractual regarding the Powell Building for Patty Construction. We have the approval of council minutes for July 9th. There are 14 resolutions on this evening, 3 matters of correspondence. We have two payment of bills. The first one totals $1,277,655.53. And we have the addition of one which totals $2,601.21, which will be charged to the current fund. It represents payment to the vendors for the Christmas in July event. We have council reports and we conclude with public comments. And that's all I have, Council President.
Thank you. So for the $2,601.21, we'll need to add that to tonight's agenda. Can I get a motion to add that?
So,
Second. That's a motion by Councilman White, second by Councilman Dean. All in favor?
aye.
Opposed? All right, so that'll be on tonight's agenda. Any council comments on anything?
No.
Okay, with that, can I have a motion to go into?
I just want to mention 301 is that refund is estimated to be $235,781.
Okay. I believe it's a couple of years, a year withdrawn or something like that.
Yeah, actually, all the years were withdrawn. That was essentially the first year.
Okay.
What you're talking about, but all the other years, the rate was basically rough on that project.
Okay. All right, for executive session, contractual PAL, select Patty Construction, can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Are we out for executive session? At this time, I'll open up the public meeting on agenda items only. Seeing none, close the public portion. Make a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We are adjourned. See no need to hold, we'll go into the public meeting, which is called to order in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-6, with adequate notice of this meeting being provided to the borough's two official newspapers and published on the borough's website. Again, clerk, can you please call the roll?
Yes, Councilman Dean.
Here.
Councilman White,
Here.
Councilman Bullock,
Here.
and Council President Benjavanga.
Here. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation by Councilman Dean. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Heavenly Father, please look over the residents of South Plainfield and this council and guide us in direction to keep us moving forward for the borough of South Plainfield. Amen.
Amen. At this time, I'll open up the meeting for comments and agenda items only. Seeing none, we'll close the public portion. For approval of council minutes, July 9, 2018, agenda and public. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Dean, seconded by Councilman White. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilman Dean.
Yes.
Councilman White,
Yes.
Councilman Bullock,
Yes.
Council President Benjavanga.
Yes.
Passes 4-0.
Resolution 18294 through 18307. Can I get a motion? Motion by Councilman Wallach, seconded by Councilman Dean. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Dean,
Yes.
Councilman White,
Yes.
Councilman Bullock,
Yes.
Council President Benjavanga.
Yes.
Passes 4-0.
On correspondence, environmental minutes, May 9, 2018, environmental monthly report, June 2018, zoning board minutes, June 5th, 2018.
So
Make a motion.
So.
Second.
Motion by Councilman White, seconded by Councilman Wallach. Please call the roll.
Councilman Dean?
Yes.
Councilman White?
Yes.
Councilman Bullock?
Yes.
Council President Benjavanga?
Yes.
Passes 4-0.
On the payment of bills of $1,277,655.53 and $2,601.21. Can I get a motion?
Second.
Motion by Councilman Dean, seconded by Councilman White. Can I get a roll call?
Councilman Dean?
Yes.
Councilman White?
Yes.
Councilman Bullock?
Yes.
Council President Benjavanga?
Yes.
Passes 4-0.
All right, on to reports. Paul, you have anything for us tonight?
I do not, Mr. President.
Glenn?
Yes, Council President. Just want to mention everybody that we're expecting the tax bills to be out hopefully at the end of this week. I assume we can extend the grace period. The sewer bills actually, similar to what we did a year ago, the sewer bills should be out by Wednesday, Thursday, the latest. We're hoping to have the tax bills out by Friday, if not either Monday or Tuesday. And the delay in this has been the change in some of the funding at the state level. Although South Plainfield wasn't affected, nevertheless, they didn't, release everybody else's tax bills. Everybody gets released at the same time. We received notification last Friday, Thursday or Friday. So, like I said, it'll probably be a week before, the end of the week before they go out. Orchard Drive had been delayed because there were 6 service line connections that were in conflict. And I know, Council President, we had met with Public Service. They were out on Thursday moving some of those lines. I spoke to Mr. Miller earlier today, and they should have the last of those lines moved today. If not, it'll just go into tomorrow, it'll be done. And then once all that's done, when the storm sewer work, we'll be able to proceed forward. And I guess our next meeting will be after National Night Out, Christmas in July, and hopefully we have good weather and a good turnout. So with that,
Thank you. Mr. Miller?
Mr. Council President, as an update on the roads, they started the milling on Hadley Road today. The road was kept open. There were no issues with traffic. And when they do move forward with the paving, that will be done at night to avoid any traffic problems also. After that road's done, the contractor will move on to the milling and overlay job. We also got a letter from the county saying that they're going to start their work Plainfield Avenue from Sampton to the county line on the 26th with milling. That'll take approximately 3 days, and the paving should start the 31st and be done August 3rd, with the striping to follow right after that.
county line meeting Plainfield.
Correct. Yes. And with that progress.
Thank you. Anything else?
I just want to let you know that I did manage to set up a poll worker training class. It'll be at the Senior Center on Thursday, October 18th at 7:00 p.m. So anybody interested in being a poll worker, that is the date to attend for your training. And that's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you. Council committee reports, Councilman Wallach?
Being that it's July 23rd, or in the middle of the summer, I just want to wish everybody a happy summer for the rest of the summer that's left. And looking forward to seeing you all here next Saturday on Christmas in July. And maybe you could dunk some of us in the dunk tank. And with that progress.
Thank you. Councilman White?
Yes, thank you, President. Just wanted to thank everyone who's involved in Christmas in July. I'm expecting a great turnout. Hopefully the weather will hold off, and it'll be a great event as usual with that progress.
Councilman Dean?
Yes, Council President, just a few things. The wood chip pile, the recycling area will be starting to roll out this week, correct, Glenn? Later this week?
Yeah, they should be dropping equipment on Thursday, and they should start removing on Friday.
Okay. So that should, take them all in a few days, or?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. And then, again, recycling, this past week, I guess there was a few more hiccups. One street, where it was only the one street, Bollinger Way, that was
Yeah,
Missed completely?
Ballinger was miscomposed. That was it. And what happened was, I had Public Works pick it up only because, you know, they were calling for the storm on Saturday. We didn't know how bad the storm was gonna be. We didn't have a situation where they were supposed to get it if they didn't show, so it was really just the one roadway that was missed. And Ballinger's not really that large.
Was there any more calls on Alice's? I know she was away on vacation. Did she have a lot of calls or?
No, nothing else was sent to me, and, you know, like I said, there was one up by you, and there was on Evergreen. I think there was one off of Park.
Park, right, yeah.
Both of them.
I mean, surprisingly, it was only,
Yeah, it was just a mistake.
very small handful. Unfortunately, there was one house on, was it
Park
Park Ave or Central? The glass.
Oh, yeah, Central.
Central Ave that, you know, she had put out, I guess, a couple big pieces of plate glass and it was shattered. And we don't know if they did it or if it just blew over and shattered there or not. I mean, so really wasn't, I guess, tremendously that bad this go
No.
around.
No, definitely been an improvement.
Yeah, I did reach out to Frank on Friday afternoon about that glass situation and a couple of the other issues, but I never heard back from him.
And like I said, I think the other street was Michael Street, and I
Oh,
went by
Michael,
Michael
that's right,
Street,
yeah.
and it wasn't outside the
Okay.
house, so. Hey, out of 7,500 homes, you're gonna have
Yeah.
a broken bottle here or there, you know, it's just gonna happen.
I see the Woodland Avenue project seems to be moving quite along now. I guess now that they finally moved that dirt, I guess they're working on moving that gas main.
Correct. Yeah, they worked all last week. They actually closed Oak Tree Road a couple of times. I know, I think it was Thursday night, they were not able to finish the work before rush hour. I don't know if the gas line's completely moved yet. I'll try to check in tomorrow.
Then the last thing is, I know Gary probably will touch base with us when he comes back as well. I talked to him earlier today, and it was brought up to my attention just recently that on June 26th, I mean, we're talking almost a month ago now, that our garbage truck was involved in an accident, and, you know, he wasn't notified, and obviously I wasn't notified on Plainfield Ave or somewhere in that area.
Yeah, somebody
I mean, I got the police
just
report
ran
right
into,
here.
Yeah, somebody ran a stop street and hit, the truck. There was no damage to our truck, and, the police were out there and.
I know, but I mean,
Took a report.
when people call us up and start asking us, you know, that, you know, a DPW truck was involved in an accident, and then we're kind of, you know, trying to ask them, like, what are you talking about? We didn't hear about it, you know, just to be notified. I mean, obviously Gary more than me, it's his department, but I was called on it, and then, you know, I called Gary and asked him, and he goes, this is the third time that, you know, Len, again, hasn't notified me on, you know, what's going on down there. You know, God forbid there, you know, if there is an issue, we want to be able to at least answer somebody, not kind of have a blank,
Well,
response.
I guess the question is, you know, to what extent does a notification require?
Well,
There's
it's a
no
borough.
there's no damage, right?
I understand, but if the cops are still called, it's a borough vehicle in an accident, I mean, you know, we've had rescue squad get into an accident, we've had, you know, whatever, and everybody, it seems like every other department head only, you know, notifies the right people for the liaison for that department, you know? That's all, and I know he'll probably touch base with it further. You know, when I said, when I talked to him today, you know, I said, well, you know, we can just bring it up tonight. And he said that was fine, you know, he said he wanted to talk to Lynn when he got back on.
All right, well, Lenny, get with Gary. My recommendation is too, it's been a month, and since you guys know about it, I would also have called Len and addressed that with him prior to it if you can.
I just found out recently, literally.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying that that's probably the better way to handle it. Len, just get with Gary on
Yeah, yes.
that. Okay, thanks.
That's it.
All right, so typically we don't have 2 meetings in the summer, but we found that in years past that the payment of bills and having a month between 2 meetings was getting tough to handle, so we decided this year to add the second meeting in July. And obviously, some people had prior vacations, such as Gary. Matt was actually on vacation the mayor's obligation and Christine. So it happens, it's not typical that we do have 2 meetings in July, so I thank everybody for agreeing to that this year. And just to go over some of the reports, Christine sent me some stuff. We touched on Christmas in July. They are looking for decorators to decorate the windows, so if you would email spcac.nj@gmail.com. It's a short time this Christmas in July, but they'll be happy to accept your window painting if you want to. Some of the stuff going on in PAL, the AC units should be completed soon at both the PAL and the Senior Center. We have National Night Out on Tuesday, 8/7 at 6 p.m. behind the library in Borough Hall, and I look forward to that event. Hopefully the weather is great. There's also an emergency vehicles event on Saturday, August 4th at Veterans Park, run through the police department. There's signs posted, I saw one coming in here today on that. The new juvenile division of the police department is bringing back the Junior Police Academy. They're doing a trial session 1 week for 5th and 6th grade children. The session will be the week of August 6th. There will be no charge to the 20 registrants. The PAL will be sponsoring the program. We're merely taking signups here to create a computer-generated list for the PAL to choose from. They will have their own selection process if we get more than 20 to determine who will make the session. The new AC units, obviously, at the PAL discussed will be going up. Some parks condensed 2 sites. We see all the work that's going on in the school systems. We weren't able to use the schools for summer parks this year, but the school locations that we were able to use has gone very well, and the staffs at each location have made it work very well. We will run 1 session of Safety Town in August 6th, from August 6th to the 17th, and signups have been ongoing. In the fall, we will be hosting a buddy ball basketball clinic for special needs children that Christine mentioned at the last meeting, at a Recreation Commission meeting. They will run 6 weeks starting September 12th and run 6 consecutive Wednesdays through October 17th. So that is all good news coming to the borough. As we voted on tonight, everybody knows that the grace period for the tax bills has been extended due to the delay in it, as Mr. Collins said. So with that progress. And I'll open up to anyone. Yes, Roberta.
I'll just go after you.
Yes, I would have a quick question. Regarding the recycle, when we, Roberta said 414 Special Department, when we sign a contract with the recycling company or any company for that matter, that does that kind of stuff, is there any penalties worked into the contract that if the provider don't provide the service up to par, there's some kind of penalty, or, like John Dean was saying, or you said they missed one and we had to pick it up. So they still get paid the full amount of the contract, or something in the contract stipulates that?
There are penalties. We have to work through the county in order to, because the contract we have is with the county has a contract with Silco.
Mhm.
So that's something when Alice gets back, I'll have to go over with her.
So when you use DPW guys, do you bill them back for that service, the county or something? The county pay you back
We
for
build
that?
back, I believe, the snow. It doesn't happen that often. Like I said, this was an extenuating circumstance on bowling. We built back, I think we came up with a price, I don't think we got reimbursed yet for back in
Yes, we worked up a bill and
We worked up
invoice.
a bill and invoice.
Okay, so there's a possibility. Yeah, and just out of curiosity, Gary's down here, and this is like the second or third time I hear that he complains that as a department head, he doesn't get notified. That's kind of, that's just simple. Just call the guy and say, hey, this happened. FYI, if the mayor was in charge and something happened, you call the mayor or send him a note, say, hey, this happened, just in case, so you know. I think we can do better than that. Just give him a call.
Call them and everything.
Yeah, well, I think that was worked out, so.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, and let her know, discuss it, when we get back, and I'll work out between the two of them.
Okay, that was it.
Yes, Ted.
Okay, Debbie Boyle, Van Fleet. Christmas in July is the 28th, this Saturday. Rain date's 29th, but we're not going to need a rain date. Wishful thinking. I just want to read the itinerary. I know Nancy has some comments also. 8 o'clock, the setup begins, and I know that Dave Delaire, the DPW, and the chief are all on top of the blocking the roads and allowing the vendors to come in, set up, and then they'll leave to go and park. 9 o'clock is all cars are off the streets and the roads will be closed to traffic. At 10 o'clock, the band, our South Plainfield High School band, marches into town with Santa, the mayor, and council. At 10:10, the mayor welcomes everyone and kicks off the day. At 10:20, the RC racetrack opens and there's free racing all day. I know that we have, I think, at least 5 sponsors for the cars. At 11 to 12 is Eddie Lynn, the amazing balloon guy, who will be making balloons for the children. At 11:45, the dunk tank opens, and I know that members of the council and I know Sandy Doyen's going to participate in the dunk tank. So however you want to work it out, it'll start at 11:45. From 12 to 1 will be pictures with Santa, so everybody can bring their camera or their phone. At 12:30, the carnival games start. 1 o'clock is the balloon toss. 1:30 is the hula hoop contest. 2 o'clock is the window decorating contest winners that are announced. At 2:15 is the winners of the Tricky Tray, which is part of the South Plainfield High School marching music boosters. And then at 3 o'clock is the breakdown. With the window painting, that'll be done all week long. The paints are at Mr. Sub, so any groups or persons that would like to decorate a window, just email the cultural arts email address and just give your name and what window you'd like to paint. I know there are some windows that are already taken, but they can find out from that. National Night Out, we have another meeting again tomorrow night. That's moving right along. We have many organizations that are going to participate. That'll start at 6. We have the CERT team that'll help with the parking. The cars that are going to be from Corn Nuts and Nikki's Hot Dogs will be lined up more towards the back part of this parking lot, so that it doesn't create any kind of a conflict with the people walking through. There'll be grilling hot dogs and hamburgers. There'll be a bounce house and an obstacle course located over by the playground, and Secudis Brothers are donating again a dumpster to be used by National Night Out. Also, just want to say we're a small community, and we're all neighbors. And the beauty of a small community has been that we all talk face to face. We all talk to each other. And most of the issues are best resolved by direct face-to-face communications. And I urge that the governing body set an example and minimize direct face-to-face communication, maximize, and encourage others to do also. This also might serve as to save a few dollars by reducing the number of letters that are sent by the council attorney. And again, these issues are best resolved by face-to-face. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, and it's the same chair.
Huh?
The same chair.
Yes, yes. I've got a little list, small list, nothing terrible. First, I want to thank Glenn for stepping up and getting our checks, because it would have been really hard to tell our vendors we can't pay you for 2 weeks. We may have had no bathrooms.
And one of the things, and I think I'd be remiss if I didn't say it, and really, I know Kathy Hearn's doing a lot of the work behind the scenes. She may not be here tonight, but Nancy and Debbie just want to let you know. I mean, she's really a pleasure to deal with.
Yeah.
So, I know she's not here tonight, but it's.
And she doesn't know your schedule, so when she asked for checks and it was already too late,
Correct.
I just
And
want
that's
to
why
thank
we
you,
have to go.
because it all is going to work out. It's going to make the day much more pleasant for us. We have enough, going on. We have 70 to 75 vendors coming in, so starting at 8 o'clock, they're gonna be lined up and complaining to wherever they are, you know, so we're just gonna make our day as best we can. I would like to, Glenn, can I give you I need the Santa chair, I don't know where that is. Do you know where the Santa chair is?
It's at the senior center, I believe.
And how do we get it over there? And-
Yeah, you can move it over. Yeah, you move it over.
Okay, and you have the Christmas decorations, and you're gonna put the wreaths up,
Yes,
correct? Okay.
yes.
And-
Where do you want the Santa chair?
Oh, you know what, I'll let you know, because I have the layout.
Is that gonna,
I
Is it
gave,
on the
I
layout?
gave Lenny the
Okay,
layout.
yeah, there's a layout there.
And that morning, I guess we'll deliver it?
Yes, yes. Because, our Santa said that he can't
doesn't Santa
stand all
start at the
day.
bagel pantry?
No, just down the road.
Okay.
We're not gonna start at the bagel pantry, but Santa has to have a place to sit, and I don't have the layout. I have the layout, but I really didn't look where Santa's gonna be, so. Somewhere, somewhere along the line. Yeah, I know.
You used to start the
And we
bagel
actually have almost, I think, 9 or 11 race cars this year, not just 5.
Oh,
So,
9?
Yeah, we really, I think we do, yes. And the racetrack is completely being redesigned. It looks very sleek and beautiful, so it should be a good
That was a
draw the
great
whole
idea.
day. It's free all day long, you know, to race, so that's good. And I already asked when the streets will be closed, because we need to be, you know, people line up before 8 o'clock to get there, so the chief has already said he's gonna work with us on it. And I'm going to need some, is it called those horses, those things?
Barricades.
Yeah, thank you.
I just called them horses in
I don't know what to
American.
call it. Anyway, I'm gonna have a handicap parking space. We're gonna have 20 spaces right behind where the animal place is.
Okay.
And maybe just a couple up there so that people don't park in there. We'll put signs up, handicap only, and maybe a small entrance. Are you gonna be there on Saturday, or do you have?
No, Leon's gonna probably. do
Okay,
it.
so Leon can be our go-to person?
Yeah, he's the event coordinator.
Okay. I like that name. What's that?
He
That's
likes
good.
titles.
I think that's all I really need from anybody right now. If I do, I'll email you as I go along, okay? All right. And thank you again for all your support. This is, I think, one of our biggest of the year. We are actually gonna have a food truck, I hope, from Empanadas. We're gonna have hot dogs and hamburgers at Little Nicky's. The Baptist Church is gonna have meatball sandwiches. The Radio Club's gonna have Italian ice. It's gonna, so you can walk up and down, and there'll be popcorn, there's all kinds of good stuff. Nobody will be starved, or I hope, we just need weather, that's all we need. At 3 o'clock, it can rain for all I care.
It's
right?
supposed to be
It looks good so
Saturday.
far, yeah. Looks good.
So
But
far.
you need to stop talking about food, you make me hungry. Sorry.
All right, so you're all welcome, we'll see you Saturday, okay?
Thank you. Anyone else?
Nancy,
I emailed Bob Lane. No, where did it come from?
Cited for later down the line.
Did you see what?
What's the table of organization here?
Have a list.
As far as,
What's the table, council has a table of
yes, it
organization?
will be the mayor and council, the police chief reports
I have the list.
quasi to the administrator, directly to council and judge. Also reports directly to the mayor. Council with a dotted line to this borough form of government, we're talking about administrator. All of our department heads report directly to the administrator and have liaisons on the council.
So not to belabor the point that Councilman Dean made or Mr. Sayers made, but I didn't notice any surprise on anybody else's face that Councilman Dean brought the accident up. Was it?
I didn't
You didn't know?
I didn't know about it.
You didn't know about it either?
This is the first time hearing about it.
Well, as a former elected official, I'd be really annoyed if I wasn't notified, and it only happened once, in which I wasn't notified by my people under me, and there's no reason for it. Now, as far as I'm concerned, Mr. Miller reports to Mr. Cullen. Mr. Cullen, as the borough administrator, should be making everybody aware of it. Or, at the very least, the mayor and or his designee, council president, and then you make everybody aware of it. And my question is,
why wasn't the individual, I mean, what's the policy? Is anybody tested afterwards? I mean, I don't believe, in my opinion, it's up to Mr. Miller to notify everybody, goes through the administrator, and goes through the chain of command that way.
I mean,
Mr. Council, I'd just like to know, okay, I've never heard a policy of reporting any accidents by department heads. There's been accidents with the senior center vehicles, the police vehicles have accidents. I'm not aware that department heads, and I don't know, they may report them to their liaisons, but I know a lot of people didn't know when accidents happen to certain vehicles in other departments. So I don't know that there's been a policy where department heads are supposed to report this. And in this particular incident, there was no damage to the township vehicle, there were no injuries, so it was more or less, you know, a minor accident that had no impact on anything to do with the township.
And Mr.
So-
Miller,
so
I
other
agree
people have
with
backed-
you.
Other people have, so where do you draw the line? Other people have backed into our trucks in parking lots and things like that, where we've had the police come out and write a report, and there's no damage, and it's just a backup into a parking lot, in a parking lot. So this happens all the time to many township vehicles. And I'd just like to know that this is what every department is required to do, and not just Public Works.
It
Because-
should be a town policy in which the department head reports to the administrator, which I'm sure you did, okay? And then it should be, if there's no policy set, it should be up to the administrator to make the elected officials aware of it, because nobody wants to walk into a store and be hit with, there was an accident, whether serious or not, because at that point in time, the elected officials have no idea whether the accident was serious or not. So there should be a policy in which the department head reports to the town administrator, and it's the town administrator's job to notify the mayor and council, so that everybody equally is aware of it.
Well, that's the only reason why I brought it up. I walked into the bagel pantry, a resident brings it up to me. Now, we were elected by, obviously, by the residents, so we work for the residents. And so it's brought to my attention, and then, you know, I'm like, I don't know. And they're like, well, don't you serve on that committee? I'm like, yeah, I'm on the committee. Gary's in charge. I'm assuming Gary knows. And that's when I called up Gary, and I asked him if he knew. He goes, no, again, nothing was brought to my attention.
I'm not attacking anybody here.
No.
But there needs to be, this is the 21st century, okay? South Plainfield is operating like it's 1950 Mayberry, okay? We need to have consistency and continuity going forward. You're supposed to be working together, everybody work together so everybody's equally aware, okay? And as Councilman Dean said, and I'll go back to when Councilman Dean was sworn in, he's had Lieutenant Guadano here to do the swearing in. And she made it clear, you work for the taxpayer. Don't ever forget that you work for us.
I think we do.
And again, it's simple. This is not costing anybody any money. It's not costing us money to have a policy that's consistent.
I guess the question is, if there's no damage, no injuries, no nothing, then
It's insignificant.
is it?
It's not insignificant.
Is it required to notify somebody?
Yeah, I believe it
An
is.
email could have been sent out.
I believe it
And that's
is.
what I want to know, because there was, as the governing body, we are, in certain jurisdictions, especially like statutory positions such as zoning, code of construction, or, the construction official, that fire official, we really can't dictate to them and micromanage their departments. It's against the law. And so we can't tell the zoning officer to do X, Y, Z, and to do that. There's certain statutory requirements that we have as elected official that we can't go and micromanage, nor will I want to micromanage somebody's department. Do I agree on notifications? Yes. But at the same time, when's the last time that Gary called Mr. Miller? Just say, hey,
No,
what's going on in the department?
hold on.
It's
No,
goes
Rob,
right.
you're making this a political thing.
No,
All I'm
it's
saying
not
is
political.
develop.
It's same on me. I have a department that I'm in charge of.
Develop a policy in which Joe Schmo can't go down the road and see Councilman Dean or Councilman White
All
or
right.
Councilman
And
Wall
then
and say, hey, I just saw a garbage truck smash into a car.
Okay, but that's not what happened, though. I mean, that's a
But that's
different
an
scenario. That's a
No,
different scenario.
no,
This is-
that's an interpretation of what one person envisions when they see that, okay? And you clear the air by letting everybody know that it wasn't a garbage truck that smashed the car. It was a minor fender bender in which there was no damage, okay? You take out the rumor mill, okay, and you make everybody aware. I don't understand why anybody's defending developing a protocol and a policy.
What I'm saying is, there is a protocol, but I've been called on stuff, I've been on this council on many different things, and there's things when I go out and say, well, I didn't know about that, because you're not micromanaging your department, but if that's the case, I know there was council people in the past, in the late 80s and early 90s, that requested that, they wanted to be notified and everything, and they were.
Listen, I don't think anyone has a problem with, a motor vehicle accident that had zero damage to municipal truck. If you guys wanted to email out.
That's fine, I mean,
Yeah,
but
I don't have an issue with that. And, if Gary felt that, that I was remiss in not saying it, I apologize, I'll send it.
But I also-
It was
I also
an
think that-
accident that had no damage, but.
Correct, but I also think that,
And I mean, on the flip side, I'd have to talk to Paul, but I don't think we can be drug testing employees based upon they're parked and somebody drives into them and the borough vehicle suffers no damage. I don't think I could drag that person in and start drug
Well,
testing.
I'm asking
You
what
could make whatever
I'm
policy.
asking what the policy.
CDL drivers, and that does not meet the requirement for drug testing, number one. Number two, the idea is the significance of this accident. Do you want to know every time a guy backs a truck up into a building down at Town Hall and hits the bumper on something? There's accidents that may cause a dent in there. They're insignificant things that really don't impact anything. This happens all the time, every day.
Len, I understand the insignificant. I'm talking about what the perception is of somebody driving by that insignificant occurrence and what they perceive it to be. And all of a sudden, we know in this town how things get out of hand and grow, and the rumor mill grows. So by making the council aware of it, I don't understand what the issue is. And again, I'm not coming after you.
there is no issue.
I'm saying, let's have a policy so nobody's embarrassed in the future. And as far as the policy on drug testing, we're operating under what guidelines? Federal policy? I know in some,
The commercial
okay,
drivers.
I know in some towns, okay, and in some counties, they operate with more stringent if they have any contact, any type of accident, whatever depends, whatever the policy is. And I don't understand why we don't go to a more stringent policy. It protects us, it protects the borough. I don't know I don't know what the problem is with that. We're following federal guidelines.
And it's also state.
We also have labor agreements in place.
But we could also make it more stringent. That doesn't apply to public works. I'm talking about in general.
You can make your own policy, to supersede.
I know, but we were on recording it now.
Yeah, no, I know.
So in this, if I can just add something, in this instance, it was a police report generated, so maybe this is, that's like at least the bottom, the baseline that you use if there was a report generated for notification. Outside of that, Glenn, we'll leave it up to you, if you think it's something that,
I just say like a quick email going out would have been suffice, just so nobody's caught off guard. If it may have never got to any of us regardless, just so happened to be, like I said.
But then it goes to the point of
Yeah.
okay. And
What's the status of Mario's position?
Right now, John is filling in that position, and we're still working through how it's going to be replaced. We haven't finalized anything.
we're working through some options, potential options, kind of weigh them out and see risk benefit.
Again, anybody that drives around the town is in dire need of enforcement. I think, the council needs to move on that. It is representative of our community. One of the issues I know back, I think it was last year, 2 years ago, the council talked about the remodeling project of CVS on Plainfield Avenue. What's the status of that? Are they finished with
Yeah,
that
that was
project?
done 2 years ago. They made a training center, regional training center, where bagel pantry and some fitness.
Has anybody taken a look at the grounds of that CVS in terms of it's on our main thoroughfare? Behind the building, in front of the building, there's shrubbery, it's dead, it's weed covered. They have dumpsters that have been sitting in the back. Debris, building debris, that's right along the fence line of the residential area. I don't think that's what the council envisioned in terms of.
Take a look at it tonight and report it.
Thanks for bringing it to our attention.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Can I just add something to that? My point was, Roberto said, for West Westminster. My point was, we just spend an enormous amount of time with just common courtesy, like Debbie said. Just, send an email, give me a call. If I live next to you and someone hit your car and there's no damage, I still will notify you, hey, someone hit your car, go check it. That's all good. I'll notify you there was one of the trucks got hit. Nothing to worry about. No one got hurt. Just so you know. Just common courtesy. I didn't think we need a policy for just common courtesy, just getting along. Let's just communicate. Let's just, say, hey, this is the deal. Yeah. Without going into regulations and statutes and stuff like that. Just courtesy, I figured would help.
Okay. Anyone else?
I have one more thing.
I just want to say great job to Eagle Scout Joe Kelly on that tremendous undertaking he took to obtain pictures and little bios on every person that has been a Grand Marshal. They look beautiful in that hallway. They're all uniformly hung. The frames look great. So again, what a great job he did. What a great service.
I agree. Thank you very much.
Anyone else? Seeing no, close the public portion. Just one thing, as far as notification goes, I want to just make sure that there also might be a time where members of the council up here aren't notified. So I've always had, when I was liaison to police and recreation, that if there was something that happened in the police department, they would notify me and the mayor as liaison. I believe that should still be the case. So in this case, Len, we would go to Gary. But there are 7 people up here, and there is a chance that somebody might call me, myself, and say, hey, this is going on. And what I usually do is tell them, well, let me make a call and I'll get back to you. I don't necessarily say I don't know. It's something that we need to look in. There's people on vacation, stuff like that. Is there better communication? Yes, but 95% of the time, there is good communication. Like I called you on Friday about an issue and stuff like that. So we can always get better at communications, but just keep in mind that the liaison, the department head should report to the liaison and not every member of the council, because it's not his job to figure out, did I notify this person or not? It should just be one person, and up to them to decide to whether or not they want to notify us. So with that, we'll go into executive session. All right, our executive session resulted in no further action, so can I get a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting?
So moved.
All right, we are adjourned. Have a nice night, everyone.